Is that the intro?
That was the worst intro ever. I'm sat here in disbelief.
Okay, I'll let Tom do the intro. He's a professional. It just works.
I'm going to copy, man. And we're back. Welcome back to Shotgun the Orcs after a long hiatus due to a little-known pandemic sweeping the globe, COVID-19. So apologies, we've been off your radar for a few weeks, but we're setting up a few of these over the upcoming weeks. I'm here with Aidan and Jake as usual. How are you boys doing?
Tom, when you're stretching, you look even weird,
mate.
Like that.
I keep forgetting because I can't see myself. I can only see myself in a really, really tiny corner of my phone. So, yeah, just keep reminding me how fucking ridiculous I look.
Be conscious, mate. You're doing the YMCA while doing instructions.
Well, I think I look more like Right Said Fred than the Village People, but all good, man. All
What's
good.
Worse?
So, yeah, here with man like Jake, man like Aidan. And today we've got early guest of the podcast returning once more. COSM, a.k.a. Bobby Super, a.k.a. Rob. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, mate. I'm okay. I'm all right. All good. All good.
How are you settling into quarantine life? And that goes for you, the rest of you boys as well.
I love it.
I have beside me your LP.
Okay. Do you know what? I don't even have a copy.
You know what, mate? I've got mine here as well.
You wanker. I don't even own one. I haven't even got a fucking turntable or record player. I don't even own one. Like, G's got all the records at his house, either stashed up or in his loft or something like that. Like, they're all, ready to go out and all this, that, and the other. But I don't even own one. I don't even have it.
You know what? I've got another one of yours as well, actually. One that you and Serbs did.
Yeah.
He was Franklin sold it to me. Specific.
Yeah. We Serbs gave Cy a few to sell just to help him out and stuff. But yeah, he got it. Yeah.
Scratch from the King's table, man. I remember that. Yes, I've got that as well somewhere. But Jake, where's your stack of COSM's back catalogue?
It's yours, yeah.
Wax.
Got it framed here.
Is that the Dave one?
Yeah, I haven't even got any of my vinyls on me at the moment. So I can't even whack anything out.
Oh, mate. Oh well, we'll let you off. So how's everyone kind of coping with lockdown and stuff? Obviously, it's like unprecedented times. It's very weird. We took a couple of weeks to kind of get adjusted to things, and before we pulled our fingers out and decided to actually get on a Skype call. And judging by the amount of technical difficulties we faced, just getting this one going, it's a good job we actually did allow about half hour beforehand to catch up, because we would have been fucked.
That's all
right. You know what? I shared some on Instagram, COSM, and about this Skype call, and George Bucks replied back, "Fuck COSM."
Good lad. I wouldn't expect anything less. He's a legend, mate. But
man.
Just get him on. He can do some more fucking weird shit. Amaze the world.
Yeah.
And he will. But all this fucking virus thing, it's been a bit of a weird one. Like, when it all first started and that, like, you get brainwashed into thinking how scary it is, and then it happens and it hits, and then I don't know. For me, it was just like a mad fear, mad panic about everything, and it was just fuck, mad overthinking things, not knowing whatever. But then now they've just locked everything down, which I thought was the right thing to do anyway. I'm cool. I think I'm quite an introverted person, so I don't give a fuck about not going outside. I'm fine here. I've got my garden, I've got my family are with me, telly's there, internet's there. If I want to make music, I can make music, and I'm fine.
I 100% agree, mate. I'm such an introvert. I like not having any no people in the shops, no traffic on the road. It's sick. I need to see what I need to see. I don't need anyone else.
No, that's exactly it. I can't. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like mad antisocial. That's probably one of the reasons. I'm a bad networker. When it comes to shows and stuff, I'm really bad at talking to people. When I came down last, Ash was supporting as well, wasn't it? Ash the author was supporting at Move On Up, and he played after me, and he was sick, and I didn't go and talk to him. But now we're cool because obviously we've done a track together and But like, worst networker in the world because I'm just so like introverted and I just don't want to speak to people all the time, which is weird, but yeah,
it's what it is, man. It's just like a personality trait, I guess, and like it's probably why like you know, like managers play like a key role sometimes. You know, if you're not like, do you know what I'm saying? And team of people. So if you're doing things independently, it's probably more of a challenge for someone like yourself to come out of your shell and do that. But yeah, man. I mean, it looks like you're making a lot of moves at the moment. Obviously, releasing kind of hard copies, pressing wax, doing bits with G-Man. You got stuff with like Parky in the pipeline. If we're allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about all of it. We'll talk about everything that we can talk about. We'll talk about.
But I want to rewind, right, just to kind of more, because obviously this is the first time I'm catching up probably with these boys as well, and just, you know, this is kind of a therapy session for me, man. Just catching up with friends and shooting the shit about what you lot have been like watching, listening to. I mean, so much has happened, but I feel like everyone's just been inside watching Tiger King. Like, there's not really much else. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, did you see the fancy dress me and my missus did? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Mate, I had to double take because I thought at first it was like, is this Photoshop? Like, but you actually did it. What was that for? Just for shits and giggles or what?
It was like, you know, everyone's doing quizzes, aren't they? Everyone's doing like Zoom quizzes and stuff like that. So we're just like, there's a group of friends from round here, and you know, they're all kind of taking turns doing the quizzes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And last week it was Rachel's brother's turn, and he's sort of like funny as, you know what I mean? He'll come up with all these physical challenges and this and so it was all jokes in it. So me and Rachel were like, I think they're doing fancy dress. I'm like, all right, cool. What can we go as? And we just came up with like, you know, Tiger King like that. And she goes, yeah, fucking hell, I can put my fringe down like this, and I can wear one of your shirts and and then she goes, who are you gonna go as though? And I thought, I'll fucking go as that. Is it John Finlay, innit? That's his name. John Finlay. And I just sat there in the mirror with a shitty barrel italic pen, drawing these mad like shitty tattoos all over myself. Literally for only about 15 minutes worth of a laugh. Do you know what I mean? And that was it. But
that's husband number one, isn't it? And did you watch the follow up, you boys, like episode 8?
Yeah, new teeth.
And now he's got new kind of like veneers, and he's got fucking weird little velcroed on beard as well. He looks so bizarre.
Joe?
Yeah, man. No, not Joe. His first husband, the one he dressed up as.
Yeah. He
He's
looks
got
like
a pretty bad lisp as well because like his veneers don't really fit like his mouth.
Yeah.
Man,
do you know what I mean? Like, he looks like a normal guy now. Before he looked fucked. He looked absolutely fucked. Like without it's mad how without teeth your face can just fall into shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Meth mouth, innit?
Yeah. It's that as well. I've been watching. I don't know if any of you know what it is, right? It's called King of the Road. It's like a skating thing, right? And there's Andy Roy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. But now he's like fixed his life and stuff because he used to be like a mad like drug head, alky and stuff. But as soon as he's got these teeth in his mouth, normal. Looks normal. Mental. It's mad. Say again?
David's like Steve-O.
I can't hear you, mate.
Can't hear you, Aidan.
Andy Roy, he relapsed recently.
Yeah. Then I seen another like another interview or podcast or something. I can't remember what it was, but he's been like 3 or 4 months clean or something like that. So yeah, he did relapse, but then he pulled it back. So fair play.
Yeah, Tiger King's weird though, isn't it? Like how it's some cultural phenomenon, and everyone kind of jokes about it, like, oh, these kind of quirky, funny characters, but they're all like, in reality, they're all like deplorable pieces of shit, really, aren't they? Like every single person in that documentary, bar probably a couple of like people who seem to care. You know, like the guy who's kind of like a trans woman who lost his arm.
Oh yeah,
got bitten off.
Yeah.
And like the other guy, like the long blonde hair, and the guy with like no legs. Like those three seem like legit, like kind of they cared about the animal's well-being. But like everyone else was just kind of like carried by their egos.
They've got like personality disorders, mate. Like fucking what the fuck? Narcissists, bipolar. Do you know what I mean? All of it, all chucked into one. Crazy.
Did you see the Louis Theroux documentary about it?
Yeah, we watched it. I have seen it before, but then it just kind of came into like my feed one day that he'd done it before, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. So I went back and watched it again, and some of the stuff he was coming up with was like, oh, I'd shoot you when he talked about when he said it's the fuck.
He came across quite well, like up to a certain point, I thought, and then he just said to Louis, he was just like, "Oh, if I found myself in like a hole financially, I just like euthanize all of the livestock."
Yeah.
And Louis Theroux was just like, "What? You're not serious, are you?" And he was just like, "You don't know me that well, obviously." And I was just like, "Okay, this guy's a piece of shit."
Yeah, there's just weird honesty. Yeah, no, like I don't. He's a sad, spiteful man, isn't he? Really, end of the day.
Yeah, nutshell.
Yeah, but you know.
Started to document like the tiger trade, and then we found this like massive story, didn't they?
Say again.
You're breaking up a bit, man. You might need to speak a bit closer to your mic.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
I think
that's perfect now.
It's a bit windy down Bournemouth Beach, isn't it?
It started off they just wanted to document like the tiger trade in the US, and then they just crossed this mad story with all these fucking weirdo guys.
Fucking
and like
mental people. Yeah, crazy. And that guy who has like a harem of women, and he just sort of like grooms all the women to like.
The nanny.
Yeah.
That nanny at the end.
Oh, him as well. But the other guy with the fucking soul patch and the hair. What's his name? I don't know what his name is, though. The geezer who fucking riding on an elephant and stuff like that. And
yeah. That's the one I'm on about.
Yeah.
No. I was thinking of Jeff Lowe.
It's that dot guy. Yeah, that's fucking mental, mate. He gets all the girls to work with him to fucking have boob jobs and stuff like that, and they work on this like weird little pyramid thing. As if you do this and you do that, you get bumped up and you get a house, and instead of living in a fucking shed with cockroaches, it's mental.
Did you see? You know the guy who was allegedly based. They based Scarface on him.
Who?
Like,
that guy. Yeah.
And I watched something recently. I can't remember what it was, and they were talking about it, and they were like, how fucked is it that the guy who they based Scarface on was probably the most likable character in like the whole show? Do you know what I mean? He was probably like, you know, the most kind of least piece of shit. Madness, man.
Yeah, and he killed someone as well, didn't he? He killed.
This is what I mean.
Yeah, the murder is fine. Everyone else.
Yeah. But the real hero of it was the guy who kind of rode off into the sunset on the jet ski at the end. Like, completely out of context.
Yeah, that was wicked. Like, what the fuck? That was like proper like Eastbound and Down, innit? It's like, it didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, man. They did a YouTube video of like Kenny Powers versus that guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many like Kenny Powers videos have popped up, man. But what else have you guys been up to watching? Have you watched LA Originals yet?
No, I keep meaning to watch that. My manager put me onto it.
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
That's all like Mr. Cartoon inspired. When I was getting my sleeve done, a lot of that was inspired by Mr. Cartoon. So it was a sick watch because it was just like all that LA Westside kind of that art and the graffiti in that. Yeah, it was a good watch.
Like lowrider culture and like Cypress Hill, Everlast was in there as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Also that photographer that followed him round, followed like Blink 182 round. I don't know his name. I can't remember his name.
Estevan. He was their road. Yeah, the LA sign. Yeah, he's like the road manager as well. The road, the guy in charge of all the tours as well. So it was mad to see the comparison between the two. Like when the recession hit, how Cartoon was cool because it was like in a creative, world still, and he could kind of apply that to social media. But then when it came to Estevan, it was like he was pretty fucked because social media is all based on photography and people can go around with fucking, high-res cameras on their phones and shit. And he's just like, shit, what do I do now type thing.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's just one of the, that was an interesting sort of like thing, but they're still carrying on, I think. Do you know what I mean? They're still like legends in the game and stuff like that. So it's all good. It's all good. I enjoyed it a lot. All the lost footage and that. Those jokes.
Yeah, man.
It's good to see with this like lockdown. What I thought is that like going back to what you're saying, like at the beginning, everyone was a bit like, well, "What the fuck does this mean?" But now people have sort of gotten over it, and they've adjusted to it. And now you see like there's like two sides. I feel like some people are being like super productive with music, and then some people just can't really get into it.
That's the thing. Like I had like a block for time, but I think that was due to like the stress of it. It's weird. Like I don't mind saying, do you know what I mean? Like when you have like a certain amount of anxiety because you don't really know what's going on and everything's like uncertain, and then so I had like mad anxiety. I've got a 10-track album which I've finished now, but I didn't have a lot to write left, and literally didn't have a lot to write at all. And I could not fucking break that barrier of trying to get into the swing of finishing it off. And you'd think I'd be able to do it with the amount of time that I now have the opportunity to use at home, but I could not get into it just because of the mentality and stuff. But now it was like, it's worn on, the album's finished, I'm looking to start something else again, you know. So it's just trying to get yourself into it. It just depends where you are really and how you deal with things as a person, you know.
Do you think there's a lot of like oversaturation with content because of the quarantine? Like jokingly, you see a lot of people posting. I can't remember who posted it. He shared it the other day, and he goes, "Oh, I need just more 17 to 22-year-old white rappers rapping about coronavirus, please."
Oh,
It's true though. Like, we don't
post your links below.
Yeah, that's it. It's just like, I know that you was all posting the quarantine bars for a bit, and it was good. Like, so there was some good bits of bobs on there, but then I think somebody messaged me and was like, I just want everyone to shut the fuck up.
I think I know who that person might be, man. But
yeah.
I won't hear him now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think that we were kind of mindful of that. It was something that happened kind of early doors, and it was like, right, I mean, it's people are bored. People are kind of like, you know, we want to see what they've got. And shouts to everyone who kind of submitted something through. But there was some nuggets of gold in that, man.
Yeah. But like, in my opinion, like it's like, don't record freestyles, record albums. Like, you can do something else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. And that's why we kind of wanted to like moderate it and limit it to kind of a week window. Do you know what I mean? Didn't want it to kind of completely take over our. Like, it's not what we are. Like, first and foremost, we're a podcast, man. But it was just something like to get everyone engaging and out of that kind of initial slump.
A bit like unity going on as well, I suppose. You're trying to take your mind off things.
Exactly, man. And a few people reached out and they were just like, "Oh yeah, that guy was sick. I've like, you know, we're going to work together now and all that kind of stuff." So,
mate, your podcast, it does that though. That's the thing. I think that because of your podcast, there's probably people that work together that hadn't even known each other beforehand. Do you know what I mean? So it's good that you were doing them freestyle.
Stop it. Yeah, man. It's just kind of because with the UK, because the UK scene is like still like relatively, it's a small scene, right? So, and there's a population of artists who are kind of, you know, they get kind of the most part of the attention and the kind of, you know, the kind of media scope, I guess. So what we intend to do is kind of shine a light on the kind of diamonds in the rough, if that makes sense. People who we know have the raw talent or have been about a time, but just don't necessarily have that platform. And but also, you know, balance it with more kind of established people. So it's kind of, it's just all encompassing. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be about like, oh, we only rate you because you're kind of with High Focus, you're with those people, and that it's kind of no. These people over here about it. They've been about it for a while, or they're up and coming. They've got the talent, and why not give them the platform? Why not give them the opportunity? Do you know what I mean? But to your point, what you were saying earlier, there's a fine line between everyone's a rapper now in a bedroom, spitting bars, submitting it. I mean, if that's your thing, carry on doing it. Keep practicing. That's all good. Not discouraging that at all. But at the same time, if you have faith in yourself, pursue it. Record an album, collaborate with people, and take it that step further.
Wasn't that who was that one guy that I can't remember who it was, but he posted a video and Chester P was rating it.
Barbarian.
Yeah, man, he's a nice lad. I was chatting to him and he said he came from like foster care and stuff, and so it was.
He was very good. Like, his flow was exemplary, and the words he was using were like, you know, pulled out of nowhere, and it was just like, yeah, like they all said, like, you know, Chester and that said it was good to hear, and you know, there is like a little bit of competitive edge when you listen to it. You're thinking, oh, fuck that guy, that was good, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spirit, like, it was good, so you know, props to him. So, I mean,
but that's real talk, though. It's good that you can say that rather than like not acknowledge it, because there's a lot of that as well. There's a lot of talent that goes kind of unacknowledged because of maybe jealousy, maybe, but do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like.
It's weird mentality.
Yeah.
Batman, though, because you can go through those videos that are on our page, right? And then you could be like, some of these flows are more technical than the flows of the people that are a lot more well known in like UK.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though. You don't need that flow. Like, if you listen to C.A.M. Brooks, his flow is easy. Like, it's relaxed, it's concise. Like, it's some of the bars punch and stuff like that. And there's no like jumping around here and there all over the place. He just delivers effortlessly, and that's what makes it so easy to listen to. So,
did you listen to Microwave Cooking, him and Maury's album?
I listened to about half of it. I listened to it while I was cooking in the kitchen in there, but I was cooking with my cooker.
Yeah, not with the microwave.
Not with the microwave. But it was wicked. Like, it was really good. I really enjoyed the track that they had the video to it, where they shot it in another country. What was it called?
Lisbon, I think it was. So they shot it in.
Yeah. What was the track called? I can't remember, but that was good. And I think he shot the video with was it Honey JD or Honey?
Yeah.
No, Loud House. Those guys, right? And he did our Keys to the Flat video as well. So yeah, big up James. But yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, he's wicked. Yeah, so.
Yeah, man. I think like Moriarty as well. I mean, he's obviously like the figurehead for Group Brazil, and they just dropped like a sick little project as well.
Yeah, I'd need to catch up on that as well.
Yeah, he had kind of the like Old Paradise, Confucius MC, Verbs, and all of those guys on there. It was just kind of a nice little kind of selection of beats and select artists on there. I thought it was a nice listen, man. Nice and chilled. He's kind of nailed the aesthetic and the branding of that label, I think.
That's cool. Hopefully, you see some more big things from there, because that's like you can see there's a movement starting there, and people are catching on to it, and it's nice to see that there is another kind of like facet towards like UK hip hop. Do you know what I mean? Like, as well as having your High Focus and your Blah and this, that, and the other, you can have another little offshoot coming out for people to listen to and pay attention to.
Did you see that Nerf Zed put out a track?
Nerf Zed, yeah.
Oh, is that the real? How does it go? I seen that. I did see it. Yeah, it's got like is it like a little stuttery flow he's got on it?
Yeah. And actually, did you see the track that Joe Byrne and RZA put out?
Yeah,
today?
man.
Haven't heard that yet. I saw it today. Haven't heard it yet.
It's more of a grime kind of track, isn't it? It's sick.
It's grime beat. It's really good. I really like it. It's I think it's a bit more like part of like the sort of time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit more like far forward, futuristic.
You want to keep an eye out for a tune that Bucks has done. George Bucks has done. He showed a video to us earlier in WhatsApp. Like, it's just like a little. He just showed it to us like as a little exclusive. Sick. It's proper sick. Nice grime beat. Like the hooks off. Like it's just fucking mad. The stuff he comes up with is too witty, and it's just. I think when that comes up, people will be like, "Oh yeah, that's sick as well." Like I rate Bucks a lot. I think he's
same, man. That's the thing. That's what we kind of like. We kind of we fly his flag quite a lot on like the channel and the podcast and stuff, because genuinely, like, there are a few artists, like, young heads coming through with that kind of hunger and that kind of talent, and you kind of listen to his bars and just not just his bars, but just his delivery, his cadence, everything about him is just like that personality. You just think, mate, you should be big. Do you know what I mean? You need to think big, because you do have that, I think.
He works hard. Like, he knows that he works hard, and he understands how tough it is for people like me or Mick. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we all have kids and jobs and families, but he says, I work hard. I get up, I do this, I do that, and it's music all day. So it's fair play to him. If he's going to put in 100% of the grind 100% of the time, then it is fair play to him.
Yeah, shouts to Mick Swagger. Just a bit of context there. So it's yourself, Mick Swagger, and George Bucks, and you are the Ant Hill Mobb.
We are.
Yeah, man. So talk to us a little bit about how you guys formed and what you're about.
I don't even know. I can't even remember that story. What did we do? I think I shouted fucking Mick just to do a verse or something, or we did something. I can't remember. You put me on the spot with that. I don't know, but we talk all the time. We live up the road from each other, more or less. We're all kind of local. Bucks lives in Reading. I don't mean to expose that. People live, do you know what I mean? We're all kind of like Berkshire-ish, do you know what I mean? So it's not too far apart. So kind of just hooked it up. I think Mick was more cool with Bucks before me, and then it just happened quite organically, do you know what I mean? And then I asked Mick if he wanted to come with me to Bristol for a rope-a-dope thing that Specific put on. And he said, yeah, cool. So he spat where Ash's verse is on Medusa Eyes, and he took Bucks with him, and then Bucks did the song as well, and then we kind of just formed it from there. Like, oh, we should do a track, or we should do a couple, an EP and stuff. Because Parky was there at the same time. That's when I performed with Parky as well. So we all had a chat, and it was like, yeah, like Parky was like, man, I'll do your beats. Just sort it out, holler him, and that was how we formed it. Jog my memory.
Man. Because when we were chatting that day, weren't we? Because me and Aidan were actually in Bristol that day.
You were doing. Was it Lazy Eyes you're doing?
Lazy Eyes, yeah, man. And it was just one of those days. It just kind of, by the time you get there, and Aidan sets everything up, and we record and have a chat and stuff. It's a long day, do you know what I mean? But next time we'll just go just for the event, I reckon.
Yeah. Do you know I've done? I said I've done back in that day. It wasn't fun.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, no, Bristol's good fun. Like it is. There's a nice vibe to it. Obviously, you have the cultural, creative vibe of like, you know, craft being everywhere, and the people are like, you know, seem to be creative and on that kind of like little bit of a gritty edge. You know what I mean? And it's decent being there. The last gig I did was at the Hip Hop Coffee Shop in Bristol, and we did the Ant Hill Mobb set, and that was wicked. And we did our thing, and then there was loads of other groups I can't remember the name of, but at the end of it there was a fucking massive cypher, and it was loads of MCs just going back to back, refusing to like give up the mic and stuff like that. It was proper, like we were in the crowd like this. So it was like old school, like back in the day, like we were literally trying to fight to get the mic off people and stuff like that. And yeah, if you look at the photographs, there's a couple of photographs online and stuff like that, but it was healthy and it was competitive, and most of them were cool. Do you know what I mean? It was good. It was good fun.
Do you think that kind of competitive edge and that kind of like raw sound's more prominent in, say, like Bristol right now, or do you think it's just because I mean, like regionally, like there are kind of like obviously you got like your London scene, your Bristol scene, your Brighton scene, Bournemouth somewhat, but much more fragmented. But like I remember you saying about when you went to Bristol, and you know some of the MCs or a lot of them doing their thing, and you kind of told me a bit about the atmosphere. But do you think that that's purely kind of a Bristol thing?
I think they have a sound. I think Bristol actually has a sound.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They have their own like raw, like it's so cliche, but it's like they have their underground hip hop sound. That's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like it sounds like things sound like Jedi mind tricks or something. Not all of them. I'm not going to say all of them because I can't say that because there's lots of grime that comes out there. There's other people making trappy type stuff or double time music that's like real gritty and raw. And I tell you what, there's a lot of fucking double time rappers. They were spitting really, really fast, and I think some of them were locals as well. But like I think there's kind of like that underground feel, that like boom bap feel, and I think that Split Profits probably set the time for that. I think with obviously being the name from Bristol that you associate with that city. So you can kind of see where everyone's kind of growing around that. And you can hear it with the MCs as well. Do you know what I mean? They all sound I can't say that very similar because that's cuntish, isn't it? But
you can say what you want, mate.
But you know what I mean? That they have that kind of thing. It's like, healthy. It's healthy.
I hear what you mean. It's got a very gritty sound, Bristol like rappers. I get what you mean there, man. And obviously there's the sort of like West Country accent that you get.
Oh, they smash it. They smash it all the time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and it adds to it, and it fucking like if you get a proper Bristolian accent, rapping and stuff like that, it sounds sick. It does sound sick on the mic. You can't. Some people take accents the wrong way and they think, oh, that sounds fucked up. But no, they sound good when they rhyme. Like I get into it. Do you know what I mean? I get into it. It's good.
So, what are your favourite accents when it comes to rappers, man?
That's
a question. That's a question for everyone, man. That's an open question for the room. But
when it comes to rapping,
go on. You look answer. I'll answer it first, and I'll think about it. Go on.
So like I think like I was chatting to my friend the other day. Sorry.
Yeah.
French is hard. Like.
Oh yeah, man.
Like. Well, I don't know. We had the conversation before. Maybe like I don't mean to interrupt, but I used to listen to like Supreme NTM and stuff like that, and I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
No.
When Cool Shen and fucking what's his name, Joey's going in, it's off. Like you could imagine the whole place going fucking mental. It doesn't matter what they're fucking saying. Like it's just they are sick. That's it.
Yeah. They're a sick group.
It just flows real well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just rolls off the tongue, man.
Fucking hell, what other accents? What is there? What's good?
So it took me a while to get into. Sorry, Aidan.
Are we talking just UK or are we going worldwide?
Well, I was initially going for just UK, kind of like like Manchester, like Scottish, that kind of thing. but you can answer any way you want, man.
Trying to think. Now, like always, I think I liked Scottish was kind of cool because it was kind of hard to get into. But like I remember back in the day, you had like do you remember Respect BA, the battle rapper?
Yeah.
And the way he used to rap and stuff like that, because it was like mad multis and mad, I don't know, thought out and stuff. The drawl of his accent kind of made the words more impactful, and you could kind of get into it. It was like, and it was like, oh yeah, cool. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so I appreciated that accent. Whereas when I heard, I need to put your headphones in. Whereas when I heard a Scouse accent, that fucking threw me off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That really threw me.
So it's more prominent.
Track, with a Liverpudlian on a feature. I don't know his name, but like obviously you've got Giggs' like London, really like deep voice, and then you got this Scouse rapper come on, and the contrast between the two is so different.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like my cup of tea. Like that's probably the only Scouse rapper I've ever heard, if I'm honest. Like,
was it Trems? Was it him? Name
of the track. I'll quickly find the track and then I'll come back.
Go for it. Another accent that kind of always weirded me out was Australian accents. They kind of weirded me out a little bit. Or have you heard them over drill? Australians do drill.
Yes, that is there a Vice documentary or something?
Yeah.
Was that better audio now? I've got headphones.
Yeah, that's perfect, mate.
Right. Oh, okay, right. That's sorted that out. Cool.
Because you were talking before and your mouth was moving. I was like, oh, Aidan's got something to say, but luckily we can't hear him.
What I was going to say is Irish rap. I like Irish like grime. I've listened to that a bit recently, only because there was that noise. There was again another noisy documentary that put me onto it. This guy called Ink, and he did a Charlie Sloth fire in the booth, man. He's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mad, isn't it? Because you associate genres with so like you'd associate hip hop with US, and then you'd associate grime with sort of UK, and then to see all these offshoots around the world, at first it feels really unnatural, and then afterwards you're just like, actually, do you know what? I really dig this. The only one that I'm not sure on is going back is Australian, because they rap and you're just like, this is just English rap. And then you hear like the sort of like twang of the accent right at the end, just like, oh, actually, that is Australian. It's a strange accent when they rap.
Do you remember when we had Verbs on the podcast and he was talking about some man called Wombat, this Australian rapper, and he was just like, yeah, this guy. I can't remember whether or not he rated him, but he was just like, yeah, I swear I wasn't imagining like some guy I saw like in a video called Wombat. Yeah. And I validated it, and then lo and behold, there was a guy called Wombat, and I was just like, yeah.
What does he look like? What does he look like?
Who, the Wombat guy?
Yeah. Does he have like long hair?
I don't think so. Well, he might have done at one point, mate. I only saw
one
video.
A Wombat.
He looks like fucking Wombat. Oh man, looks like Wombat.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I think like it's like the whole UK accent. I mean, people took a while to get used to that. You know, kind of rappers rapping in a British accent, and I think people have kind of come round to that now. Not so much in the States, but you know, it's kind of.
Thing is, I'm older than all you lot, right? So it's a bit like when we had that accent thing, it was different. Like I remember when I was growing up, like all you heard was American, and the English guys sounded American too. Do you know what I mean? I remember like a freestyle that they put on TV once, the Westwood one, and it had Lee Ramsey from Nottingham, this guy called Big Quam from London, and they had a boy called Glamour Kid who was spitting in ragga stuff. And Lee Ramsey and Big Quam, they all had American accents. Do you know what I mean? And that's what hip hop was. I mean, in like '99 or 2000, I think it was, I went to Brixton Academy for the B-Boy Championships, and Blade was rapping there, and he was handing out the tape demo of his album The Unknown with Mark B. Right, and they was just handing them out and shit. So I took it home and listened to it, and it was the first time I'd heard Rodney P. It was the first time I'd heard Chester P. Do you know what I mean? And it was the first time I heard a lot of English voices on a track, and I heard their voices. I was like, "Wow, what the fuck?" And I was like, it blew my fucking mind. And then it must have been like a month later, I heard Staircase to Stage, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Do you know what I mean? It was mad period of time when you hear, you think, fucking hell, people can actually do it from this country and actually sound good in their own accent.
R.I.P. Mark B as well, man.
Yeah, of course. But
it's
just crazy when you hear those voices after being so indoctrinated with something else, and you hear the juxtaposition of your accent over something that sounds similar. Madness, absolute madness. But that's what people don't appreciate nowadays.
Yeah.
But I sound like an old fucker, but never mind. Never mind.
Actually, going back to accents, another Irish rapper, Kojak.
Oh yeah, I really rate him, man. I think he's not everyone's cup of tea. I think like because Rob, man, you're like a rapper's rapper, I would say, in terms of, and I know your kind of taste in hip hop is very kind of like, I know if I was to recommend something to you, there'd be a good chance what you'd respond to as "fuck off, I'm not interested in," versus like, "Oh yeah, I'm digging it." Do you know what I mean? So Kojak, he's more of a. Have you heard of him before? He's
I think so.
Yeah, he's kind of a very creative guy. I think Aidan, he's got like hasn't he got like a degree in like fine art or something?
Is he got like mad like concept videos and singers on it and stuff?
Yeah, man. Very easy to listen to. So me and Aidan actually did a little review on his Green Diesel album. Yeah, man. And it's there's kind of, you got some kind of Lee Scott vibes going on. It's gone that kind of him and Luca Palm's the other guy on there. And it's not it's not like heavy bars. It's not like like intricate wordplay, punchlines, that kind of thing. It's just, I guess, like concepts. But it just works really well. I think the Irish accent as well. It's just like that kind of quintessential kind of. I suppose I can't really say British because I think they're from Dublin, aren't they? But
it's weird. I think even it's what you're into and what you'll allow yourself to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Like even sometimes you might not want to hear an Irish accent. You might not want to hear a Scouse accent. You might not want to hear a New Zealand accent. Do you know what I mean? If you're from Australia, let's say, sometimes you might, and I think sometimes people don't want to listen to women rapping as well. That's another like a subject that people don't tap into. Like Sean, I think we had this conversation in the last podcast. You know what I mean? It was just
none of them.
He doesn't like any of them.
Yeah.
But even when you showed me you told me to listen to the Rhapsody album, and I was like, fuck off, I don't want to hear it. And that's because I'm ignorant, because I listen to something else. Because sometimes you don't want to hear it, I think, because it's just what you tap into. And then eventually I listened to it with my daughter. I'm not sure if that was appropriate, but but no, it was good. It was wicked. Do you know what I mean? It was wicked. It was a very good lyricist. Delivery was sick. Content. Do you know what I mean? And that's where people need to take notice and stuff like that. Because it's so fucking hard being an independent artist and trying to rise above the saturation of people that's out there. It's so fucking hard, and trying to, make moves and stuff. So I think that, I don't know, you got to find a balance between being super nice to everyone, being overcritical and undercritical. It's a tough thing to do.
Did you see recently that High Focus put out that video with is it Telemachus?
Telemachus,
yeah.
Because that's a completely different sort of sound. I mean, I was surprised to hear that.
Who was that Telemachus person?
It's more of like I think he's more of like a beat. He or she is more of like a beat maker, isn't it?
Yeah, I went on a. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I listened to it and I was flicking through, waiting for something to happen, and nothing happened. It was just like ambient music. It was just like, oh, okay. It was refreshing to hear, but it was unexpected. Yeah. I just wanted to get to the vocals to hear who this person was, but it wasn't that. But
it's like a sort of like film score, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's good though, isn't it? Like I think that you can typify a UK hip hop listener by them listening to a specific label, like High Focus. You can say that's a UK hip hop guy. But then if they're in a sense, if they're diversifying what their output is, then it opens up the people's eyes who are listening to them that typify that kind of description. But it also brings other people into access to content that they are releasing.
Yeah. That's the thing with like a label. They've got once a label like grows, when they get like a bigger following as I don't mean to keep like name dropping High Focus here, but obviously they are the most well-known UK hip hop label there is in the UK. But when you get to the amount of reach that they have with over, I think they're over something like 300,000 subscribers, they do have the power to actually put do you know what? I rate this music. It's not necessarily UK hip hop, but I rate it, so I think it's good. We can put it out because we've got the platform, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's good business just to try something different. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just
it works. It works. Yeah.
If it works, it works. Yeah, you can make. Yeah, but
they've laid the foundations to allow themselves to make risks now. Do you know what I mean? They can take risks, and to your point, diversify and maybe expand their listener base because of it. You know, that's the thing. It's kind of tapping into people who don't necessarily want to listen to. I say boom bap. It's probably unfair because like High Focus obviously are built around that kind of boom bap sound, but they have kind of evolved over time. You still get the artists who do that and do that well and continue to do it. Like the 4 Hours album that just dropped is classic boom bap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Compound was like that, isn't it? Compound was quite different from the usual sort of sound.
They're fucking brilliant. Yeah, I think they're wicked. Their fucking music is unbelievable. Like it's just they're like you can see where their influences lie, you know, stylistically with the Memphis stuff. And when I heard that Memphis shit, and when I heard like other people that could try and emulate it, like Doom Shop and stuff like that, I think to myself, yeah, I want to make some fucking music like that. But they've actually gone out of their way and molded the two styles together of being like a boom bap thing, but over like, you know, trappy kind of sounds and stuff, that slow kind of rip the BPM, and they've done something that's better, like, you know, it's elevated, it's something that's different, it's new.
Man. I really rate One Drop as a producer.
Oh man, yeah.
I think he's got a really keen ear for a beat, man, and yeah, it's just a good kind of soundscape for them all to spaz on. Do you know what I mean? And
they're really, really good. Do you know what I mean?
Because Chemistry was in that. You're talking about that Nuff Said track that dropped yesterday. Chemistry was featured on that as well. But Yoga Cop kind of roots. That's a good label, man. Yoga Cop's full of sick artists.
I'm happy they're putting out music again because they stopped for a while, didn't they? They stopped for a minute.
Generally, or just?
I don't know. It was a minute. It's been a minute since like music was coming out on that label. I don't know if it may have just been me not following it, but I'm sure it's been a while since music was coming out.
Maybe. I don't know, man. Maybe like all of this kind of stuff shaking things up a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Thing is, like it's in the way a lot of the times. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just you can't always give things 100% of your time and money because you've got a family or you've got to pay this bill or that bill. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are real lives behind the music that everyone listens to. And I think people forget that a lot of the time. Some people you know what I mean? They give 100%. They get up and it's all there for people to see and they're making money. But, you know, they need to sell the music to make that money.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they have to put that shit on hold to get a job so they can fucking sort themselves out. And that's the funny thing about UK hip hop. So grassroots.
Yeah.
Not like the highest band of people could probably live off it. But everyone else underneath is scraping a little bit. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, do you know what I mean? I've got 2 jobs, you know, and I'm trying it and stuff like that because there's no way I could live off and there's no rap money, I can't live off that, mate. No way.
Yeah, man. The trials and tribulations of the independent artist, isn't it? It's just but that's good, man. It's real. It's kind of, you know, that's like the reality of it all, like social media and what people see on the surface. It's just like an echo chamber. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of.
You're the second person to say that as well. G said that earlier. Said the exact same phrase.
It's true though, man. It's like you put something out, and it's always like the same group of people, really, who kind of give back to you. And you know, you kind of see what you want to see, you hear what you want to hear because of the algorithms and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of, I guess, thinking outside of that and. You know, I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, yeah, if you really believed in yourself, COSM, you could have been a massive star. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I know, like, to your point, it's life, isn't it? It's like you would have had to have put everything else on hiatus whilst you were going to pursue that. And life happens, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a very, 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 very tiny percentage of people who actually make it.
I remember watching that Set and Spray It video of you, COSM. When you said, like, I don't know, did you say something like the camera was on top of like a car or something, and you like filmed it in a car park?
Yeah.
The car.
What it was, I was down for my sister's leaving. She was going somewhere traveling or something like that, and then yeah, the car park was going to run out, and my missus was at the party, and I said, "Oh, I'll put some time back on the car." I phoned fucking Beat up and was like, "Oh, yeah, it's Buster Freestyle in the car park," like that. And he turned up. He turned up with a laptop. He stuck it on my wife's car, little Fiesta. Stuck it on there. Put that to the side. That's why my hair's all done up. Like I'm not wearing any hats or anything. Like my hair's all done up nice because the fucking I'm around the corner at a club or whatever I'm doing, or a Ponzi bar or something. I'm there. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah.
Amazing, man. Are you still So obviously, I went to see the Shaolin Monkeys play the other day.
Yeah.
They were supporting Peng Shui, and they smashed it, man. Obviously, like you couldn't be there because you were in Bristol that night.
I was in Bristol.
And what you were talking about earlier, the gig with the Ant Hill Mobb. So, is there anything kind of in the pipeline for the Shaolin Monkeys? Obviously, again, COVID-19 being the biggest spanner in the works.
Like, I can't speak for all of them. I'm there whenever they want to do something. I'm there. I like to record. Like, I will always be there to record if they want to do something. Gigs and stuff are a bit iffy because you've got to find time to do it and this, that, and the other. They've all got their own personal lives and stuff, and if that's a priority to them, then that's them and that's cool. Do you know what I mean? I would love to do more music. I think our mixtape that we did was a good mixtape.
Man.
I feel that there's much more potential with every single rapper that's in the group. Like as a group, it's a bit difficult with me being all the way over here, but I think that as a group, there's so much potential for material to come out. And when things finally click again, like lifestyle-wise, I think that we could make some good music. And what I also would like to do is fucking do a little Shaolin Monkeys Ant Hill thing, because that would be sick.
Yeah. Again, what's next for Ant Hill then?
So we got the project produced by Parky, but we've been forever 4 or 5 tunes deep. Like they're recorded, they're done. We did a little video for one of them. So that's that. I recorded the last couple of days, last week I think it was. I did the 16s for the other 2 verses, sent them to Mick and Bucks, and they're going to organise that, and then we're going to try and sort it out soon, but just try and get it out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because you did that show. Did you get Bear involved in that show as well?
Yeah, Bear was DJing.
Yeah, Bear, mate, he's mad, isn't he? He's just such a busy guy. One of the busiest guys that I've ever seen. Like, honestly, Tom before. I'll get up in the morning. I'll be on my way to work, just scroll through Instagram, and you always see Bear's story like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, just doing shit.
He's nuts. He's nuts. It's like he's never on it. Yeah. And his music, he's got a new album out now, which I still need to check. But yeah, he's always producing. He's always on it. He's always getting something out there, and he's very driven. He knows where he wants to go. He knows that he's gonna get it, type thing. So all props to him. So yeah, no, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, man. Bear's a nice guy, man.
Yeah.
But that Shaolin Monkey show, man. I remember Moo kicked the set off, and with that Get Live, and I was just like, fuck me, this guy can rap.
Love that track.
Jesus Christ! It was just yeah.
He's mental. It was I remember when we were doing shows when we was younger, I was always the live guy on the stage and stuff. And it's cool, and you get the props and this, that, and the other. When you get on stage with him, you kind of have to, and you're me, you kind of have to fall back a little bit. You think, fuck me, I'm not gonna outdo the way he attacks. I can attack him my own fucking way, but I ain't gonna outdo that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So it's just the craziness of his delivery when it comes to live shit, and the intensity as well. It's almost
they're Sticky Fingers type vibe, Onyx kind of vibe to it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever seen the video of Busta Rhymes performing where it's 92 something, where he's got a big hat and he's wearing these, and he's and you're like, how the fuck? Because you can't I can stand up now and shout for 3 minutes and my voice would be fucked. I can do one song at a set and my voice might be fucked. But that's down to poor control. But I know how to control it. But how to have that intensity for that long? That's a skill. It's either a skill or a blessing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
You kind of think I think if you boys the Shaolin Monkeys, if they like put out some video, coughed up some cash, I know it's difficult, put some good music videos out there or something, and got seen by the right people. It's one of those, man. It's just like
who's already been seen. Do you know what I mean? Like they have been already been seen. Like Mood won that competition, the Welcome to the Future competition where he got to do.
Because Verti's been like chucking beats at him and all of that kind of stuff.
And that was the result of that. Do you know what I mean? Timing in his life might not have been right. So that's that. So he's been seen. Do you know what I mean? Ben's phenomenal. Man. Phenomenal. Like when it comes to songwriting and stuff like that, and just getting Aggie, just doing Aggie throwaway shit. That's just that's phenomenal. And Dread's like up and coming, double time. Like his music is good as well. Like so, it's all there. All the parts are there. Do you know what I mean? It's just I think it's timing. A lot about music is timing. I think.
Did you see Dread's video, Leo Wild's video on GRM Daily?
Yeah, I was trying to recognize it. I was trying to recognize where he shot it. I was trying to
watch that, Jake?
What's that, sorry?
Leo Wild's video on GRM Daily. Sorry to wake you up, Jake.
Jay's watching something else, isn't it?
Tiger King, mate.
I was spinning my AirPod case on that, and it was just entertaining me a bit.
Yeah.
Nice for you to join us, mate. But yeah, that video it just looked sick, man. It was a good showcase for Bournemouth as well, like a nice hot sunny day. I think some of it was in Lansdowne, like the
roundabout
underpass bit. Yeah. I was just like, no,
I'm sure. I swear the roof he was on was his house or something, and I swear that was like that's in Southbourne or something. Like because
but still, some of the comments, because I was reading, when you come to songs, I always read from the comments. Obviously, take them with a bit of like a pinch of salt, because some of them are just fucking idiots. But I was reading through the comments on that video, man, and there were so many people that were just saying like, this guy is just, it's fresh, it's refreshing, it's a refreshing sound. It's grime, but it's not like the same sort of grime you're getting like from GRM Daily. Like it's not like the same video just being put out just like structured different ways. You know what I mean?
That's the same with Bucks as well. That's the same shit Bucks does. Like it's not the same. It's not the same. Like it's different. And but it's good that he's doing that.
Bucks reminds me of a lot of like Slow Tie, like in terms of. Yeah, obviously not like the incident that happened. The fucking awards. In terms of like how he would like switch from like doing like a hip hop beat to a trap beat to suddenly like a punk song. Do you know what?
I think not so much like in terms of the style, like in the way he raps, but maybe in terms of like style. Maybe in terms of his versatility.
Yeah. That's what I mean, and I think as well, like he's a character, like he's a good guy. With like hearts in the right place, and I think he can do well.
I like Bucks's delivery is very like it's very kind of concise, and you feel every bar, you hear it all. It's very like easy to listen to. Do you know what I mean? Very digestible. It's not kind of one of those. It's one of those voices that's just like, oh yeah, man, like it just works really well over any beat. Versus like a Slow Tie, which is a bit more of an acquired taste. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's obviously gone quiet recently because of such reasons.
He's Joker. It's fine. He's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I haven't since this whole lockdown thing's happened, right? I've had so much more time to listen to music. I've literally listened to barely any music.
That's terrible.
That's bad, man.
I know.
What have you been doing besides wanking?
I've been working out, mate. I've been working out loads. That's where I listen to music. You fucking start working out or something.
Which is a euphemism for wanking, right?
I do that as well.
How big's your forearm?
But no, I've been working I work out in the garden. Like this is the weird thing about lockdown. Like it makes people miss things that they wouldn't necessarily do. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's saying, "Oh, I've lost weight." Because now people aren't taking things for granted, like walks and going out on their bikes and stuff like that. And me like working out. Like now I work out in the garden. Like before then, I'd have never fucking worked out in the garden. Do you know what I mean? Never done that. I'd go to the gym and then I get lazy at the gym. I go twice. And it's like twice a week, and I ain't gonna do anything. But now I'm working out in the garden because it takes me away from inside the house, and I can listen to music. Like the day when fucking RZA dropped his album, Westside Gunn dropped the album, and the Owls dropped the album.
Like last Friday, wasn't it?
Last Friday, I was in the garden, and I was listening to those albums. Do you know what I mean? I listened to a bit of the Owls and then a bit of RZA, and then all of Westside Gunn because that was the first one I put on.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was nice to listen to all that new music, and the sun was out and shit like that. So it's a good time to listen to music.
Yeah, man. God bless New Music Fridays, man. I swear down, like that last Friday. Yeah, I listened to those like. Hold up, what are you doing?
Oh, question. Which album out of those three, when you listen to them, did you prefer?
RZA the Rugged Man, probably. Because I think production. Hold on, is there a bit of a lag?
Nah, it's all good. I only listened to. Do you know what? I haven't listened to any of those albums the full way through. Again, I know that's really disappointing. That's really bad. But I've been listening to bare podcasts recently. Not like I don't just like listen to our podcast, like other podcasts. But I listened to half of the 4 Hours album today, man. And I was rating it. Like I think it's a good album, but I really want to check out that Westside Gunn album. I want to listen to that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's okay. It's cool.
Westside Gunn stuff like Griselda, you know, like Lulu, the Alchemist and Conway album that dropped like a few weeks ago as well. It's like I always need like a bit more time to kind of digest them. Hold
up. Can we just like backtrack again? Fucking DJ Premier and RZA.
Oh yeah, man, that was amazing. That was amazing. Why haven't we talked about that yet?
I don't know.
Oh my days! Like I didn't watch it. It was only Tom that sent me the video of it afterwards, and it was insane. And that's what's been so incredible about this whole lockdown thing. Every like single night I'll go on my Instagram, there'll be about several different lives going on of like different like shit going on, man. And that's what's like quite good. Like Ramesh Rag and Nathan will be doing some little comedies like chat thing, or like you know some rap will be doing some like bars. Datkid's been doing his shows where he just
fucking whack man.
Whack bro.
He's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah,
he's a nut.
You know that episode of Peep Show where they go to that party with super hands and they're just like, don't go in there.
Yeah, I watched it.
Don't go in there.
I watched that the other day.
I'm like, that is basically like Whack-Mo. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, just don't go in there, man.
Yeah,
it's the darkness.
It's too.
There's actually been like bare albums released since we actually last spoke. I'm just thinking now that
crazy.
Yeah.
There's been loads.
That
I should have really thought about that.
Classic joke. That Primo and RZA live stream was sick though, because like RZA basically had like a ton of technical difficulties like we are right now. And it was quite endearing to watch because it's like, all right, he's one of like the most famous hip hop producers of all time, and he's like, he's struggling. He's struggling with this.
I felt fucked up now because I watched it live, innit? I watched the first like 20 minutes live because it was after one of them quizzes that we'd done.
Yeah. And
the quiz went on for time, and then I went to bed and I was watching the thing, and Primo's there like that. He's ready on his turntables, and it's you know, just fucking chilling like that. And then RZA's kind of walking around, fucking with a gilet on, looking like a fucking kung fu master, thinking man. What's going on? Is it working? And don't get me wrong, he is RZA, do you know what I mean? But then you're thinking, why haven't you got it on point? Be set up, like, do you know what I mean? Like, just make like you're hoping and wishing and praying for it just to get it right because he's looking mad because it wasn't. But that's not his fault at the end of the day. It's just. Sometimes.
It was cool when his kids were in like the background, weren't they? Like towards the end of it, they just kind of they were like dancing to like Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nothing to fuck with, and it's just like.
the mad thing is the whole for me the whole thing is sort of like we all kind of like Lord Premier as like hail Premier as the guy. As the best producer. If someone said to you, Primo RZA, you'd say Primo. And you got
talked about this.
Yeah, and you would say, Primo is the man, like, and for the most of it, cool. But when you watch the battles and you listen to the beats, you forget RZA's part in the music sometimes, unless you're like you think, oh fuck, he did that. Oh fuck, he did that. He did that, and you're like, oh shit. So kind of re-emphasized and gave you a kind of a new appreciation or a reaffirmed appreciation for the music he had made.
Even that track, on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the opening track, can we get much higher? One. And RZA produced that and he played it. And I was just like, oh shit. Yeah, I've completely forgot about that.
Just things like that, and you're thinking, fuck me, do you know what I mean? You take it for granted. You just think when they came out as Wu-Tang and did 36 Chambers and Liquid Swords and you just take it for granted that those beats were there, and you think, oh yeah, probably one of this person made it or that person made it, and then you don't think, oh yeah, fuck, he did make it.
Yeah, man. I think I said that to you. I think like even though like Premier's like produced so many tracks for so many different people, and RZA's kept it mainly kind of in house with Wu-Tang and like a few other people, but like hardly, you know, not compared to Premier. But I think my favorite RZA beat is probably trumps my favorite Premier beat. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, like what is it though?
That's a tough one, man. But I'm just saying generally, like any of the 36 chambers trumps any of it personally to me, any of like stuff from Gangstar. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like by default, my favorite RZA beat trumps my favorite Premier beat. It's a tough one, man.
But what's your favorite Premier beat?
I love I like a lot of the old like Daz Effect stuff.
Yeah.
Probably Rockstars.
The non-fiction one.
Above the Clouds, Rockstars. Yeah. A lot of the non-fiction stuff.
Superstar or Group Home.
Yeah, Group Home's like a weird one, man. Like
they're not. I mean, they're not very good MCs, but
a lot of people think they're kind of corny and stuff, but I think they're pretty good.
No, the beats on it was sick. Like Superstar is unreal. That fucking bass line on that, and J. Rue as well. Like Playing Yourself. That's a sick song. Like I know Mo will be sat there if he's hearing this will say nah, not be Playing Yourself. He'd pull out another beat from there because he fucking loves J. Rue, innit?
But even like full clip as well. Like, I mean, that's the thing. It's a bit of a statement, but just to your point, listening to kind of RZA and Primo going kind of back to back, it was kind of like, yeah, RZA, like every single beat he's just put on, I've been feeling. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, music. It was good. Yeah. It was a nice thing, and it was mad seeing that I was on the chat room as well, and I was seeing that because obviously Primo's at the start giving a shout outs to all the people, and I'm seeing this live thinking, fuck me, like every name you can think of, rappers, DJs, like anyone was
all of them on there,
just popping up and saying, "Yo, what up, Preem?" And I was like, "What?" And you know, there was UK guys on there. I seen Juggernaut was commenting on there as well, and then I was just thinking, this is mental. Like literally everybody.
It was historic, man.
Yeah, but it's such a weird thing to say. It was historic, like it was, but it was like it was mad. It was literally
this whole situation though is like completely unorthodox though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a live stream. You know, to your point, like using the word historic normally would probably sound quite hyperbolic, but in this context, it was. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I had like it plugged into my speakers in the kitchen. I was just like watching it, just completely gripped to it. Do you know what I mean? Just watch the whole thing, start to finish.
I have to be honest, I need to revisit it and watch the whole thing because it got to a point where it was fucking mad late in the evening, like mad. It started at like 2:30, 3:45 or whatever the fuck it was, and I was not trying to do like, you know, staying up all night and getting up with the kids. And,
man. So that Westside Gunn album then, man. So like, did it take a bit more time for you to digest that? Because I gave it a once over, and obviously I was talking about Lulu as well, The Alchemist and Conway stuff. And I think like all of the Griselda stuff, it's very kind of lush. Like the production's very kind of. That's the first thing that kind of strikes you. Do you know what I mean? When I listen to it, I'm like, man, this sounds absolutely incredible. And the whole package is very like, it's very kind of luxurious. Do you know what I mean? In a kind of Virgil Abloh artwork, we had a discussion about that as well. And just their whole kind of branding and marketing is just like nothing else right now.
I mean, I liked it. Thing is with them, because they've got so much content.
Yeah,
it's like another thing to add to the list.
Do you think interchangeable? I heard someone say the other day, or do you think that's kind of unfair?
I don't know about interchangeable. The thing is, they've got quotables on a lot of their songs. Like if I had a better memory, I could pull some shit out and say, no, this was sick and that was sick. Do you know what I mean? So if you're a real MC's MC, do you know what I mean? You can say that no, it's not really interchangeable because what they're saying on the songs and how they deliver it is wicked. But there are standout songs, but there are, for want of a better word, because it's not really filler, is it? You can't really say it's filler because it's not filler. I don't know. It's just that I don't know.
Because going back to what I was saying about, like, you know, the R-rated Rugged Man album, so I listened to all 3 of those albums on Friday, and the Griselda one for me, as it usually is, because they're very kind of layered and there's a lot to kind of dive into, it's not as accessible. Like, I had a lot more fun with the Rugged Man album because it was very much like stripped back, kind of throwback.
I'm comfortable. I'm like comfortable listening to the Westside Gunn and Conway shit, so I can put that on. I can vibe to it. I can pick out the bars. I can say that's sick, and it can go. Like, I can zone out. It's good. Like, and obviously the beat selection is the type of music that I like to listen to. You know, sonically. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then when it came to Rugged Man, now I haven't heard an album like that in a while, or I wouldn't choose to put something on like that. On a day-to-day basis. So when he came with that fucking intro, or the bit after the intro, or the next couple of, I was just like, right, this is good. Like, this. It kind of turned my head and turned me on to something that I've been missing out for a little while. Do you know what I mean? So it was. I had more fun with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a fun album, man. I think, like, he tends to follow kind of a formula with his releases. Like, there's always kind of a couple of concept songs on there. There's always a couple of, like, you know, real life kind of biographical tracks, you know, about his family and stuff. There's always kind of jokey, self-deprecating songs about how he's just like, you know, he used to have mental health problems and he's a piece of shit, etc. So it always kind of follows the same, like, kind of structure. But I think this one, he kind of upped the ante a bit in terms of production value, features, and it felt a bit more cohesive to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you shared one the other day. It was like, you know, the Posse Cut one with like Paz and everyone else.
What's that all about? Who the fuck gets that on a fucking album? Do you know what I mean? Who gets that? So, you know, it just goes to show how longevity and how much work you put in, and it all can culminate in an album like that with features like that for people that want to get down with him on a track. It's just mad. He's wicked. I reckon he'd be a really nice guy to talk to. You could probably chat to him for hours about anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a personable guy. Like, his music's good.
Did you ever see the episode of Nardwar? Did you ever see his interview with RA?
No, I can remember. No.
Yeah, check that, man. It's entertaining because it's obviously RA's like notoriously difficult in an interview situation anyway. But Nardwar, because he's so like endearing and childlike, and he has that kind of approach, you know, he's just very like, they just complemented each other really, really well, and the kind of the records and all the memorabilia that Nardwar was pulling out and presenting to him, RA was just like, "You're a crazy motherfucker, Nardwar. Like, how did you like all that kind of stuff?" And he was just talking about how he knew like Biggie back in the day, and there's all kinds of fucked up stories about like RA like wanking into a crowd and all of this stuff, and he's just really crazy, outlandish shit, and he's just like, "Yeah, I was a crazy guy, man." And Nardwar's there just like innocently like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
No,
I really rate Nardwar, man.
Yeah, he's on point. He always knows too much about people. But it's good.
The most entertaining ones are when he speaks to someone like Questlove, you know, like someone with a really like in-depth musical knowledge. And just the stuff he kind of pulls up from his archive and vinyl collections, just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you have that? How do you know that? Like, yeah, man, crazy stuff. So, man, what's next for you then, man?
So what's next for me? What's next for me? Like, I think
this was the record that I was chatting about, actually.
Yeah, Scraps.
The Serbs and COSM Scraps from the King's Table.
That's it, Scraps. You see how the podcast has gone full circle. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. But yeah, no. What's next for me? So I don't know. Yeah, we've got Medusa Eyes out now, which is me and G with a remix with lots of features on it as well. You know, the features are brilliant. I'm chuffed with the people on there. Like, they all came and they all delivered as they should. You know what I mean? They smashed it and stuff like that. And I'm happy with that piece of vinyl. Do you know what I mean? So it's a good look to start off. You know what I mean? It's a good So that's
was nice. It? So those records, the Medusa Eyes that you put out. Why did you get it pressed to LP to records? Because I'll be honest, a lot of people don't do that. I was surprised when I saw that you did that. I'm not against it at all. I was just wondering what's the reason behind that.
It's proper, innit?
Just love it.
just proper. Like it's just, I think that vinyl is like a collector's item, and I think that it's just one of those things where it's for people to keep. It's a piece of memorabilia as well as, because music is too disposable. It's far too fucking disposable.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Like I said earlier, people have real lives that they. That's what fucking Aidan left. People have like real lives that they kind of deal with as well as make the music. So like it's just having a physical piece of something is a testament to the hard graft that you actually put in, as opposed to the button on Spotify that says fuck this. Go to the next one. So I mean, that hasn't been put out on Spotify. It will be put out on Spotify, but obviously there's physicals. We want people to have and to hold something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if I was in a position where I could fucking write on the sleeve of it and just say, big up this person, I would. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I want to make it personal to people and shit like that. So,
I hear that, and I think physicals are an important thing. And just at the back of that, just because I'm literally sat next to my records, like now, like I've also the things that when we're doing this podcast, like this is another one we got given, Raiden's album, right, and also Big Daddy Rap, Big Daddy Rap Beats album. Fucking green. That's why it's green, because that's why. But thing is, man, like, do you know what? Though I'll be honest, mate, I will never ever listen to those albums in a CD player, but I'll always keep them, and it'll always like be there. And I think that's why I think physical is a very important thing, because it's something you like substantial, you can touch it with, like look at.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So I think it's important doing something like that.
It's a double-edged sword as well, because obviously being an independent artist, you have to really have your marketing game up. You have to try and get it to certain people so it gets seen and sold, and the right people hear it and stuff like that. And you might have 1,000 followers on fucking Instagram and X amount of friends that you think that you've known your whole life, but at the end of the day, they're not all going to buy your fucking music. Half of them aren't, like 10% of the people are going to see it on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? Fucking 2% of the people might buy it. So it's just really, you have to really, really work hard to get it out there.
Echo chamber. Echo chamber, mate.
I mean, but
that's the third time he's heard it.
That's it. But yeah, no. So what's next? So after that is going to be. I was just talking about G today. We're going to, talking to G about this today. We will put this on Spotify eventually, and then we're going to put the fabled iron statue thing out. That will come out. I want that out soon. The big idea was, just to get it out after that, film some videos, have it all backed up. It might be a little bit impossible because of this fucking virus, but we'll kind of hold fire until it's in place, and then speak to the right people and get it all hooked up video wise. So Iron Statue's coming out. The Parky one, Aspetta, is done. Just waiting for Mick Swagger's verse for one of the songs. So that's going to get mixed and mastered, and that will be sorted, and that will come out. I think that's going to come out on my Spotify when I get that up and running. That's just to like help. That's going to be like a release where people will just, they might catch that because Parky's on it, and then they'll kind of hear everything else, and it's just like a tool. Yeah, but it's a sick album.
Is that Parky producing it?
Yeah, he produced the whole thing. He features on it as well. We've got a track that has me, Parky, and Juggernaut on. Like Juggernaut is brilliant for me at the moment.
How did that, like, I don't even know if it's an EP or not. Is it the bits that you did with Mo Sick? Is that an EP?
What, the keys to the flat?
Yeah.
It was just a thing. We
did
it.
Thing. How did that come about?
That was just a little piece of magic. That's all it was. Honestly, like it was the right place, the right time. It was just timing. Like we'd caught up recently at that point. He was living back in London, or he was here. He'd hit me up. My wife went out. I said, mate, come over, type thing. He came over. We sat at the table I'm sat at now. He sat where I'm sat now. I was sat there, and we literally wrote bits and bobs. I knew he was coming over prior to him coming over that night, but so I wrote some shit as well, because he is a notoriously like quick writer. Like he is an animal like that. He has the ability just to project bars on paper and it happens. Obviously, me and the way I write, I'm not like that, because obviously my lifestyle doesn't cater to that. So I kind of don't have the time. So I write in short bursts. So I did something the night before. 50% of the stuff that I spat was written on the night. Some of it was written before, and then we did it in here. Some of it was recorded next to this curtain, and then the rest of it was recorded in the utility room, because my wife came home and I said, "I'll go, like, babe, is it all right if we just finish off?" She's like, "Yeah, cool." We just did it, and we banged it out. It was just like an EP. We just made it. Not even an EP. It's just 3 songs. It was just, I don't know, classic me and Mo just going at it, and that was that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
We just said.
So man, Medusa Eyes EP out now. Where can you find it? On Bandcamp?
You can find it on Bandcamp, on G's Bandcamp, which I must remember. If you can't find it on Bandcamp, you can get it off.
The link will be in the description though.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure.
If you go to my Instagram, COSM Super, on there's a link in my bio which will take you to the video for Medusa Eyes with Ash the Author, and obviously the Bandcamp as well, which you can either purchase digitally or physically like that. So there's that. And also Disorder's picked it up on Suspect Packages, so it's on Suspect Packages as well.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
So you can get some bits and bobs off.
Do you know what I think it's mad that we're already like 4 months into 2020 and it feels like nothing's really properly happened apart from this like virus, and we're almost at festival season. All these boys, who are you sort of thinking is going to make the most impact in like 2020, like UK rapper wise? Big question, I know. All of you. Jake, wakey.
Jake's dead. he's
Jake's watching Family Guy, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, isn't it? Because of everything that's happened. Like everyone, there's been obviously the 4 Hours project just came out.
Yeah, but they're the 4 Hours.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
I don't know, man. I think it's just. I think it depends, right, what your approach is, because some people are a bit more like elusive with it and work behind the scenes, and then they'll just come out with something. And there are people who are kind of constantly, in your face, telling you that they've got stuff in the pipeline. Do you know what I mean?
Like I was like, do you know what I mean? But the thing is, you find like a lot of musicians will like release stuff and get stuff ready for festival season, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be that this year.
No. So they've just got to keep banging out content, but then
just bars about COVID-19, man. You know what I mean?
We don't want that. We
No,
don't.
exactly. But mate, the posse cut you've got on the B sides, Nighthawks, man. You got like a sick entourage on that. You got AnywayThaGod, Mick Swagger, C.A.M, Relly, Murkerz, and Datkid. Because Murkerz is another local lad, and he's just released a grime mixtape. Don't Look Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's got bars, man. He's sick, Murkerz. Really rate him.
I've known him for a long time, and people. He came to my wedding. Imagine that. He came to my wedding. But yeah, no, I've known him for a long time. He's got a lot of bars. I think he's been he's disappeared for a little bit due to life and this and that. But he's someone who should be listened to and have a chance to ascend with his craft. You know what I mean? He is good. He's very good. So,
yeah, man. We've been meaning to get him on the podcast, but for whatever reason.
It's funny, like.
Yeah, man. No. We tried to arrange it like a little while ago, and like something happened, he couldn't make it, and but we will once all this blows over, man. No doubt we will. But yeah, no,
the cut was good. The posse cut was good. Like I originally wanted, I wanted all the Shaolin on there, and I wanted, this is before I knew Mick and everyone, but I wanted all the Shaolin on there and just like a load of other people that either were from this area or whoever I could get on, and then just body the whole thing. That was the whole thing. It was going to be a Shaolin Monkeys track, but it didn't happen like that. It didn't pan out like that. So I had obviously me on there. Dread was on it. Cornell was on it. He was like, yeah, I'm on it. He sent me the verse. I kept the verse. Fine. And then as things kind of carried on, like we got Anyway, like we asked him to do it. Like he's from Slough, innit? So I met him as well. So I met Anyway. We spoke about it. Got a verse off him. I rhymed with Datkid in Bristol before, and he said, "Oh, I'm up for doing something." And I think G sorted that one out, and then he sorted out the other two with Relly and C.A.M. And Mick obviously happened naturally through, our hookup with like you lot and this, that, and the other. And then, but Dread was always like on the back burner, and I was like, all right, cool. I need ad-libs. He never sent me the ad-libs to get on the song, and I'm gutted that he never made the song because his verse was sick, and it was just like, it would have been good to have him on there. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the final lineup, so I don't mind. But next time.
Indeed. So before we wrap up, Peeps, is there anything else that anyone wants to talk about?
Yeah. Music. It's just other things. Like obviously, I've got the Iron Statue thing, the Aspector thing with Michael Parkinson, which is going to come out soon. That's sick. I've finished that 10-track album with G, the new one, which is there, but it's not. It will be recorded in the next couple of weeks, and I want to get that out soon. That's kind of like got that kind of. I want to say mafia, but I don't want to say mafia because it's like. You know what? My references are kind of veer towards that kind of Italian bullshit because of my heritage, but it kind of has that kind of aesthetic to it. So
yeah,
man. Kind of
because you've got the on your Parky project the artwork from Goodfellas, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like Joe Pesci's picture of the old man with dogs.
Yeah, I mean that's who painted that. Yeah, I can't remember. It was in like the National Geographic or something, and she painted it. Who's
was it his mum who painted it? Yeah,
someone's
Joe Pesci's mum, wasn't it?
No, it's not. It's Scorsese's mum. That's my.
Yeah. I know.
It's Martin Scorsese's mum.
But she plays Joe. She plays Joe Pesci's mum in the film. Yeah.
She painted it, but it's and
because they've got Billy Batts in the boot of the car, and like it looks like someone they know.
So that's kind of like referenced in the album. But yeah, I just have those kind of influences. I think just due to my heritage, and I've kind of adhered to that, if you know what I mean. Without
that's
it, man. Without being a wannabe or anything like that, because I'm not trying to be a gangster or nothing like that. But it's kind of, I think, but it's true though, isn't it? Like people kind of like they talk gangsters and they try and want to be something they're not. But I don't see myself as like someone who's trying to do that. I kind of make it cinematic and give things and like if anything I kind of paint like a noir kind of picture through music, and that's what I kind of want to communicate when I make the music.
So I guess like Vinny Paz does that quite a lot, doesn't he? Because he's got that kind of Italian like
and maybe it's the same thing. Yeah, it did cross my mind as well, so I don't want to be pigeonholed as the same guy, but
of course, man. But I've been watching I've been rewatching The Sopranos again because I haven't seen it in about like 5 years.
Fucking brilliant.
So now I've got all the time in the world. So just finished the end of season 3. Oh man, classic. But it's just the episode where they go to that Chechnyan guy and they like basically
and then the Pine Barren.
Yeah, they're like chasing him through the snow and stuff. Yeah,
I think that's one of my bars in one of my songs. I think that's one of my bars. I talk about that in one of my songs on the Parky album. I reference that.
Sick. No, I'm looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to that.
But heard it. You've heard it.
Yeah, man. I got an exclusive play of that, mate. But I mean, it was so long ago. Just need to release it already.
I know that's the thing. That's true though. It's true. Things are holding things up, but I think we're gonna get things in motion. We'll get Iron Statue out. We'll get Aspector out. We'll get Matanza. That's the other one. That's the new one. And then I've got a bag of beats today from somebody else in Bristol, who's a very well known producer from Bristol.
Is it begin with B and then H initials?
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah.
Wait, who?
When you say a big producer in Bristol, I just think of Bad Habits, man. I'm just like, all right.
It could be.
We'll cut it out.
But yeah, no. So I've got that. I've literally just got some shit today to write, so I need to get all that stuff out. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's all going off. I need to get it out. I will get it out there. You will hear it. And once I've got like a little plan in my head. Once these things are out, there's people I want to work with. I will work with. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully get it done. Do you know what I mean? Just that's it.
Oh, did you boys catch that Jess song that he dropped?
Which one? The Weed the 420 one, or or the bars video that he did?
Nah, the one that he dropped most recently, produced by Pitch.
Yeah, he did
92.
two, mate. He did two, didn't he? He did like the bars video, the Pitch 92 one.
The State of Union, the freestyle. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but he also released like a 420 track as well.
Oh yeah, State of Union, man, that was hard. Like he went in.
That's Jess, isn't it, man? You just know what you're getting, don't you?
But that's the second time we've written people off. We keep writing off. We just wrote Jess off. I wrote the hours off. This is the thing. You can't write people off. We have to appreciate the fact that they work hard and they work.
No. That's not what I was saying. I was saying.
No, I know, but
you just know you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get with Jess.
Skin man.
Everyone's gonna.
I'm joking.
Before we wrap up, then, COSM, man, where can we find you? Where can people find you on social media and all of that stuff?
Just at Instagram, COSM Super, COSM SUPER. That's on Instagram. Facebook ain't really active like that. And that's it for my socials. Really, I need to up my game, innit? Me and you need to have chatting, innit? Really. The video for Medusa Eyes is on UKHH, shot by Defacer, so you can go and check that out. Featuring Ash the Author. The Bandcamp G-Man, I will give you the link and you can put it on the video. Or if you want to catch the vinyl, you can get it off Suspect Packages. Because it's on there. That's about it. And Spotify will be coming soon, right? So holler at me, follow me, whatever.
Big ups, man.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, just want to say R.I.P. Metropolis. Sad news this week. Foreign Beggars. That was a big one, man. That was very unexpected and sad. So condolences and thoughts.
I was talking to my wife about it. She couldn't get it. She didn't understand why people were so bothered about it. And I think that she's not cold-hearted or anything like that. I just think that because we have such a tight-knit scene, because UK hip-hop is so small, everybody, like, when you have someone like that size or who does something, that huge, when something happens to that person, you feel like you get, stopped in your tracks. Like when I read it, I was like, what? Fuck off. I swore to myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
for sure, man. Because just off the back of what you're saying, like because with UK hip hop being such a small genre, when you're sort of it's like integrated into the scene where someone that raps or someone that raps, like you always know someone that knows someone that had contact. Do you know what I mean?
I met him time ago, like a long time ago, when he came down. And they did like a fucking mental night of hip hop at the Consortium. I met him, and this is in my younger days when I was a dick, and I don't think I was rapping as well. And they were known in it for their mosh pits. Their mosh pits were fucking bananas, right? And like me being like hard headed, like the mosh started, and some geezer got a bit fucking, I don't know, a bit over enthusiastic, let's say, with me. So I started like grabbing them up and stuff like that. And Metropolis jumped off the stage and sort of like, he didn't physically split it up, but he just had a word. And whatever he said to me at that point in time, I can't remember what it was, just chilled me the fuck out. And I was like, oh yeah, all right, cool. Like, I think he was that type of guy anyway, but if you read like all the comments and shit, but he just chilled me out and was like, no, we're doing this, that, and I was like, all right then. Okay, I'm cool. And then when I seen them in Shoreditch and they split the crowd like this and they had everyone go and like run at each other, I was cool with it. It was mad. Like I think he was like a really kind of like peaceful kind of soul type guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, mad. So it's a massive shame to have someone that influential and that.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Sending thoughts and obviously to kind of the Foreign Beggars fam, Pav and Metropolis's family. It's obviously like a massive blow for the scene. So RIP Metropolis. But before we wrap up, Aidan, or Jake, who wants to take this? Where can you find the podcast? And again, apologies beforehand if the audio is not as kind of good as you come to expect from. I mean, we are obviously like the height of professionalism here at Shotgun the Auction. You know what I mean? But the audio might be a little bit shit this time round, but just bear with us because we're just making do with what we've got in these unprecedented times. So, where can you find us?
Find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. Find us on Facebook. Find us on YouTube.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
That's it.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts.
Fucking.
I can't even hear you, man.
Is that what I sounded like at the beginning?
Nah.
Oh,
No.
good.
No, you at least look like you want to be here.
Yeah. Jake's triple screening. He's got Family Guy.
He's just on Babe Station. Oh, mate. All right, yes, at Shotgun the Orcs, all platforms, all of that good stuff. I don't know when this will come out. Aidan will get on it at some point.
At some point, yeah. I'm so busy at the moment, man. Just going out all the time.
Yeah, you're chilling at the beach.
So much fun, yeah.
All right,
like
man.
that Hawaii thing, like, yeah. All right, safe, boys.
Yeah, stay safe, people. Good catching up.
Stay safe.
We'll catch up soon. Peace.
Hey.
Bye, everyone.